The next verse that explicitly refers to the Messiah as Yahweh can be found in Hosea chapter 1, verse 7. I'm going to go ahead and read that as well. It says, "But I will have mercy on the house of Judah." Now I have this underlined because we have someone speaking here, someone who is going to have mercy on the house of Judah. "And I will save them. I will save them. I will have mercy." This is the same person who is speaking here in the text. It's pretty obvious, but I just want to point that out. And so, "But I will have mercy on the house of Judah, and I will save them." How will they be saved? By the Lord their God. Okay. This is someone else that's being spoken of. Back to the first one who was speaking. I will not save them by bow or by sword or by war or by horses or by horsemen. But how will they be saved? They will be saved by the Lord their God. Now, this is an interesting text because it's one that you can just kind of read past if you don't really pay attention. But it would make no sense if I went and I told my wife, "I'm going to pay the mortgage by your husband, EC." It would make no sense to actually speak that way, and God doesn't speak that way in the text. Here in this verse here, what we see is that the one that will be the instrument used to save and for mercy to be extended to the house of Judah will be their God, the Lord their God. And even when we look in the text here, Lord is the same name. They will be saved by Yahweh, their God. And we see here again, we have someone else who is saving and having mercy on Judah through an instrument, right? "I will save them by the Lord their God." And so this is another messianic text that is speaking of the Messiah who would be the one to come and who would be the salvation of God's people. Real quickly, I just want to get to the final passage so we can get into the topic of the day. The third and final passage in answering the question, is there any verses in the Old Testament that explicitly refer to the Messiah as Yahweh? We're going to look at Zechariah chapter 2, verses 10 and 11, which says, "Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for behold, I come and I will dwell in your midst, declares the Lord." So I just want to stop. As we can see here in the text, it is the Lord who is the one who is to come and to dwell in the midst of the people. "And many nations shall join themselves to the Lord in that day and shall be my people." Whose people? The one who is to come and to dwell in their midst, right? "And I will dwell in your midst, and you shall know that the Lord of hosts has sent me to you." It's the Lord who declared it, and it's the Lord who sent the Lord that declared it. This is very clear, right? Just like the passage before this one, even if that one was, you were a little uncertain about that one, this one is even more clear than the last verse that we looked at, which was Hosea 1:7. But in this verse right here, in Zechariah chapter 2, verses 10 and 11, what you have here is you have two distinct lords in one verse, one that was sent and the one who sins. Now, someone might argue, well, that's not the same usage of the word Lord. One is speaking about God. The other one is speaking about the one that he sent to rule, right? That's just referring to the leader that he's anointed. Well, the problem is this leader that was to come is the one who's actually speaking in the text. He says, "I will come and I will dwell." This Messiah, this branch that is speaking here in Zechariah, which was actually written somewhere around 500 to 600 years before Christ. And if I'm wrong, you can go ahead and correct me in the comment section. But here you have the Messiah speaking before he came and was born. In Zechariah's vision, he recognized the Messiah as Yahweh, which is what we can see here in the text, right? Declares the Lord. Well, who is this Lord? Well, this Lord is Yahweh, right? "And you shall know that the Lord of hosts has sent me to you." Well, who is this Lord? This Lord is also referred to as Yahweh. As you can see, both the one who was sent and the sender are referred to by the holy divine name of the God of Israel, which again is Yahweh. Now, these are just a few passages that explicitly refer to the Messiah as Yahweh. The divinity of Christ is affirmed throughout the totality of Scripture in so many different ways. And not just the fact that the Messiah that has come is divine, but that he is co-equal and co-eternal with the Father and the Spirit, bearing the same divine name as the God of Israel, the name that will not be shared with any mortal creatures, the name that will not be shared with any kings or any prophets or any priests. And that name is Yahweh. And we see the Messiah bearing that name.